Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Alex Avila with Love University, and we're back. I'm an author, psychologist, and speaker. Every week, we talk about how to love ourselves, others, and higher nature, how to improve our finances, career, health, relationships, and spirituality. We've been talking about my book, GuyTypes, 4 Ways to Find the Love of Your Life, how to understand personality compatibility and choose the right partner for you, and also how to have a great relationship in the long run. And today, we're going to be talking about the twist of introversion, extraversion. Why your partner's social energy level can make a big difference. It is true that not all personality types are created equal. There are the introverted kind, as well as the extroverted ones. Introverts are those people who get energy from their own thoughts, and they like to spend time with a few friends in quieter places. Extroverts, on the other hand, are those people who get more energy from others, and they thrive in outside circumstances with plenty of social interaction. The term introversion-extroversion was originally coined by the influential psychologist, Dr. Carl Jung. Jung observed that some people were like turtles. They liked being in a comfortable shell of inner comfort, and they mainly acquired energy from their own thoughts. Other people, Jung observed, were like rabbits. They like to interact a lot in the outside world, and they gathered their energy from social interaction. So in this example, the introverts are like the turtles. They have a shell that covers, protects them, and they feel comfortable in their little cocoon, spending time at home, relaxing, or with a few close friends. Introversion-extroversion refers to the process of recharging your mental batteries, your bounce back time. Extroverts are stimulus hungry. They seek external stimulation and recharge their energy by social interaction. When an extrovert goes to a party, they usually like to stay late and they get more energy as the night progresses. The introvert, on the other hand, recharges by withdrawing into their private comfort, staying home, listening to music, playing games on their tablet, reading on their phone, or just thinking. When they go to a party, they usually leave early, and then they go home to recharge their batteries. So an important question to ask yourself is, am I an introvert or an extrovert? Now, you might say that you're both introvert and extrovert depending on the situation. Although you may engage in both introverted and extroverted activities, the key is where you get a majority of your energy, either internally from your own thoughts, which is the introvert, or externally by interacting with other people, the extrovert. Some introverted people, entertainers and speakers and teachers, can seem quite extroverted for short periods of time, but then they need to go home to renew their energy, soaking in the hot tub, listening to music, while extroverts get more energy as the night progresses. Jonathan, my producer, in the past you told me a few things about that, but what do you think? Are you more introvert or extrovert in your personality?
If I'm by myself, introverted. I mean, I'm really shy. Like, say I'm at the restaurant and I want to ask the cashier for extra ketchup or something. I'm like, oh, no, I'll just, I won't ask for anything.
Well, Jonathan, I wrote a book called The Gift of Shyness, and actually, shyness is a little bit different. Shyness is self-consciousness. Like, you're afraid to ask a girl out because you feel she's going to judge you or criticize you or reject you. But introvert is more your energy source. Like, there are people that are non-shy introverts. They like to stay home and relax and enjoy their company, but they can go out and talk to people and be the life of the party for a period of time, and then they get tired and they need to recharge and go home and relax and be by themselves. So which one are you more in that case? Are you more a shy introvert or a shy extrovert?
Honestly, what you just described right now, that seems like me. For example, earlier this week, I went out with some friends and I was like the life of the party, making all the jokes, making everyone laugh. And then the next day I was exhausted. So,
all right, you're exhausting me, Jonathan, because I'm a little confused. So because part of you are saying that once you get comfortable, you come out of your shell, right? You can talk to people, but then you also say you get tired. So that actually sounds like an introvert as well. Let me clarify this even further. If you are at a party, do you go there early and leave early, or do you go late and then leave later?
That's a good question. Normally for me, if I'm not feeling the vibes, I would leave early. But say if I'm having fun, if I'm having a great time, I would probably leave pretty late.
Okay. So let me ask you this question, Jonathan. This is one of the questions that we ask with the GuyTypes approach to finding your soulmate, is what do you do for fun in your spare time?
Mostly I'm just in my room watching TV or on my laptop doing whatever on there. But I mean, sometimes for fun, I'd go out to see a movie or go to the gym or something, in my free time. So it's It's like a flip of a coin. Some days I'm just like doing nothing, and other days I'm being proactive.
Okay, Jonathan, but it sounds like most of the time you're by yourself. You're enjoying being at home and doing things. You say online. Is that about right?
Yeah, and like even when you said by yourself, like I would go to the gym by myself, or I would go to the movies by myself. So it's like, I guess it's still me time, like doing whichever, flip of the coin I'm doing. I'm doing it alone.
Okay, Jonathan. So you actually sound more like an introvert in that sense, because internal people or introverts get energy from their own thoughts, and they like to spend time on their own. So the introvert for this question would say, I like to read, write, think, meditate, listen to music, or spend time with a companion or a few close friends. Now, an extrovert would say to that question, what do you do for fun in your spare time? I like to hang out with friends. They would mention various social activities that they do on a weekly basis that involve other people: bowling, karaoke, shopping with girlfriends, and so forth. The key to this question, Jonathan, and also listeners, is what you actually do on a daily or weekly basis, and how your activities determine your social energy. So it's not just what you say, but what you do. How do you really spend your time? And that can tell you more about a person if they're internal introvert energy or external extrovert energy. Let's take a look at some more characteristics of the extrovert and the introvert. And again, if you're out there in the listening audience, you can kind of write these down or do a little checklist and see which of these apply to you. If you're an extrovert, you describe yourself as happy when you're with others, having fun and engaging in the outside world. You may talk out loud, even when you're alone, because you like to experience an external event and make your thoughts real. You tend to act before reflecting. As an extrovert, you require an outward goal to stay involved. You may become restless below a certain level of external stimulation. You may feel depleted and overtaxed by the kind of inner mental activity that introverts are motivated and energized by. You also strive to broaden your sphere of influence. You want to affect circumstances in a way that is visible to others. You are affected by other people's opinions and expectations. Moreover, you need constant contact with a face-to-face community in which others are invested and participate. Family, workplace, faith community, voluntary organizations, peer group, sports events, and fan clubs. As an extrovert, you may recognize your introvert side only when an external situation falls apart, when there is a crisis, divorce, loss of job, catastrophic illness, or death in the family. When you are energized, you seek more stimulation. You talk to another person. You stop off at one more place. You sign another client in business. You hunger for pace, variation, and expressive engagement. You're the type of person who expresses yourself freely, and you're comfortable initiating social encounters. You also want external space for events to occur. You relish the opportunity to express yourself. You may believe that thoughts aren't real until they are spoken aloud. You thrive on action, movement, and experiences that can be seen or heard. To feel valued, you want to receive feedback about your performance. You want a return of energy to its source. You want to engage in social interaction to make your ideas more real. You want to make your thoughts come alive by exchanging them with others. Now, if you're an introvert, you describe yourself as happiest when you're comfortable in your own skin and you have enough space and privacy to pursue your own path. You like to consolidate your territory, even your alone time and space. You don't share your inner world right away, and you may resist the influence of your partner when he or she tries to make you talk. For you, the inner world comes first. Of course, in our highly extroverted world, this can be a challenge because the world urges you to socialize and speak up, even when you don't want to. As an introvert, you also have a lower threshold for social stimulation than an extrovert. You tend to be overwhelmed by too much external stimulation. After you've been at a party for a certain period of time, you've had enough and you need to go home to recharge your battery. You want to listen to music, think, read, or meditate. When you withdraw from social interaction as an introvert, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're shy. Like I was telling Jonathan, my producer, in my book, The Gift of Shyness, I talk about the non-shy introvert, people who are comfortable socially, but they have a limited amount of social energy to expend. When they're depleted, they need to go off by themselves to renew their energies. Another characteristic of the introvert is that they like to use as few words as possible to get their message across. For the introvert, language is carefully and selectively used. That's why you can be puzzled and annoyed if your extroverted partner overwhelms you with a lot of words and information that you weren't seeking or asking for. One thing to keep in mind is that type preferences can vary in intensity. Some people can be mildly introverted or extroverted, while some can be very strong in this dimension. So when you're evaluating yourself and others, it's good to keep in mind how strong the introversion-extroversion dimension is. Is it mild or is it strong? Here are a few other clues that you can look for when you try to determine if that prospective mate, love partner, is an introvert or an extrovert. First of all, introverts typically have a smaller social media following. Also, the social media shows relatively few social activities that they're involved in. Also, an introvert person may use fewer words when they talk, but their words have impact. Also, an introvert doesn't usually tell a lot of long-winded stories. They like to keep it fairly brief. And they like to read, think, meditate, listen to music, do internal activities. On the other hand, extroverts have different characteristics that you look for to determine their personality type. For example, an extrovert will have a large social media following. A lot of people like what they do and they talk about it. So the social media will show a large number of parties, people, and happening social events. In addition, the extrovert often uses a lot of words when they talk. They like to tell long stories and keep people listening for quite a period of time. And also the extrovert, when it comes to recharging their batteries, they like to hang out with a lot of friends. They have a good number of friends and acquaintances, and they like to do things in fun social environments, nightclubs, parties, bars, casinos, and so forth. So Jonathan, based on all this now, I'm going to give you a second chance here. You can tell me your type. Are you introvert or extrovert based on what we've been talking about?
So I've heard someone say this before. I don't know if it was you or someone else, but you can be an introvert but an extrovert sometimes, or like an introverted extrovert. I think that's what it's called.
Well, like I said, yeah, you can have a preference for one and do the other one sometimes, but what is your primary preference? What do you do most of the time, Jonathan? Now, be honest with you and be honest with me.
Definitely introvert. I feel like that's pretty much my go-to for sure.
Okay, I'm finally happy we got that out of the way, and you're introvert. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with being an introvert. Now, years ago, people who are introvert were considered to be wallflowers and avoidant and shy. But now, with a lot of books, including mine, The Gift of Shyness, and other books, introversion is now something that's become more acceptable. It's great to be introvert. A lot of our geniuses, inventors, and creative people are introverted energy. And as long as you know how to communicate and deal with other people, that can be a great trait. But the key is we're talking about love relationships. In the book GuyTypes, Finding the Right Compatible Person, we ask the question, who is better for you in a romantic relationship? An introvert or an extrovert, depending on who you are. Now, some research shows that introverts get along best with each other, two introverts together, and also two extroverts do well in long-term relationships. Other research shows that female introverts can do well with male extroverts because they balance each other out. Yet a non-traditional couple can have problems. A female extrovert with a male introvert, they tend to have the most problems in chores, finances, communication, and sex, because often they don't respect each other and understand each other. The extroverted female thinks the introverted male is weak and spineless, and the introverted male may think the extroverted woman is bossy and over-controlling. But overall, research shows that there are great advantages for a couple to be the same in this dimension, either both introverts and both extroverts, since they enjoy the same social energy style. They both like to stay in, for example, if they're introverts and have quiet dinners and walks along the beach, or if they're extroverts, they like to be out socializing and partying and having fun. And that can be a great combination on both sides, the two introverts or the two extroverts. At the same time, there are some advantages to being different. Sometimes the introvert can teach the extrovert how to relax and focus on their inner world, and the extrovert can help socialize the introvert. So sometimes opposites can, to a certain point, be good. But again, the key to all of this, and also the key to all of the personality types we're talking about, is to respect each other's style. Because when you respect the other person and you're empathetic, you can see life from their position and put yourself in their shoes, and they can do the same for you. And then you have a great relationship as a result. So, Love University students, our goal this week is to go out and look around the world and see what people are like. Are they introverted or extrovert in their energy? Now, sometimes they can fool you. Sometimes they can be very outgoing and cheery, but if you ask them, what do you do for fun? And they say, I like to stay home and read a book or surf the internet or play video games. They might be more internal energy or introvert, or opposite. Maybe they seem very quiet, but then they warm up and they're actually extroverts. They're just a little shy in the beginning. And also ask yourself the same question. What are you like? What is your true nature? And again, with all personality type, the key is to be authentic to yourself. If you're a natural introverted person, be happy with that. You don't have to go to every single party and you can turn down invitations and not feel guilty. And if you're an extrovert, You might stay home once in a while and relax, but you like to be out with people. That's how you get your energy. So go out this week and be who you are, be authentic, and spend time with people who naturally resonate with your style. And if you have a love partner, also do the same. Understand, respect, and appreciate their true personality style as they do the same for you. Now, if you want to be on the show, have a show idea, want to comment on today's show, you can reach us at 310-226-8090. Visit us at loveuniversity.love. Write to us at loveuniversitylove@gmail.com. You can also subscribe to us on Podbean, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Love University Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at LoveLetterU Podcast. And you can pick up a copy of the book, GuyTypes, 4 Ways to Find the Love of Your Life on Amazon.com. GuyTypes is an up-to-date version of my bestseller, Love Types. It teaches you how to identify your ideal personality type, know where to meet them, how to break the ice, how to win their heart in a long-term relationship, and how to keep the love strong. So until next time, have a wonderful, loving week. Extend loving energy to yourself, to others, and a higher nature. This is Dr. Alex Avila. Class is now dismissed.